2. Then I gotta distill it. Okay, how do I... Oh, I could have done the sandglass just with the R2. Okay. How do I then get it out of the cauldron? Water, wine, oil, spirits. Oh, hang on. There's some bottles here. This will complete the potion. Why am I clicking the bellows again? Okay, apparently that's part of the process. You have brewed a cockerel potion. Yay! Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay. That was probably more confusing than it should have been. But I brewed my first potion. That's crazy complex. Also, you know, interesting. It's very realistic. I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table with them. Sorry guys, I'm hitting my controller was on the bed. Um, they added blacksmithing in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So, I'm assuming it's going to be as complex and as tricky as this was. All right, so 1 spirits. Okay. And then it was 2 mint, 1 handful of mint, 2 handfuls of mint, grind. No, I did not do the Merhuda plague treatment. I let the priest do it, and then I didn't even give it to everybody. I was like, I couldn't find everybody, so I just I gave it to like 1 person and left. All right, put that in the cauldron. Then we brew for 1 turn. So we do the bellows, and we do the hourglass. And then we add a handful of valerian into the pot. No, that's not what I wanted to click, gosh darn it. All right, and now we brew twice more, 2 turns. There's the bellows. There's the hourglass. This is 1 turn. Two turns. Get a vial ready. And use the still. And 2 turns of the bellows. I have reached a new level in alchemy. And I have made 2 cockerel potions for the priest. Okay. Now, I think he said he would come check on me later, or maybe I take them to him.
What troubles you?
Submit the potions.
I finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Yay! Alright, so that's cool. So I wonder if I get the rest of the day now to wander around. It says now you just get to go around picking flowers like every 2006 Tumblr girl with yoga pants. Yes, Transcend. I am now an alchemist. Yay! Alright, so that's pretty cool, which leads me to the next part of understanding, because I remember from previous sessions playing, people were telling me like alchemy is like the coolest thing in the game, and you could like once you learn how to read, you can learn more recipes, you can make your savor schnapps, all that other stuff. So that's cool. That's another layer of the game that I have not done yet. So learned something new today. Learning alchemy for the first time. Yeah, it is realistic, and I'm really looking forward to what they're going to be doing with blacksmithing. Because I mean, alchemy is cool and everything. I know it's going to be in the next game, but the blacksmithing really makes me interested, because then I can make my own weapons and hopefully armor as well. That's going to be cool. All right, I don't know. We still need to find Antonius. I'm pretty sure it's Antonius, and I got to figure out how to. We got to find him first. Hold on, though. I've got some comments over on YouTube I want to answer on this video that I published this morning. What's up, Deeks? By the way, guys, did you see that the Asmongold guy disappeared? Like, that was just somebody fishing for a. They were just fishing for a trolley response. They were fishing for a reason to be upset and to leave some nasty comments. They're like, how do you don't like PvP games? We don't like story games, so we're gonna rant about Renfail and the fact that he likes story games. I don't know where I'm supposed to be heading, by the way. The scriptorum was upstairs, wasn't it? Yes. Optional. Report to Brother Cyril, the librarian. That's gotta be him, the librarian.
What would you like?
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Neung says, I don't know what the deal is with Asmongold. I just know he's into politics and anti-gaming. He seems to have a consistent fan and hater. He used to be so before his mom died, Asmongold was actually quite entertaining as a World of Warcraft content creator, and he used to do some really cool, like he would just sit out on his porch and talk about things. And he's much younger than I am. He's like 15 years younger than me. I think he's only like 30, right? Early 30s. So he's much younger. He's a millennial. He has a completely different outlook on life than I do. And he used to be entertaining. I found his content, 6 years ago, entertaining. Then his mom died, and he just sort of went off the deep end. And, that's normal for someone when they suffer a great loss. And he just sort of lost himself in becoming the monster that everyone wanted him to be, meaning that people on the internet, when you're someone who has millions of followers, and I think you can look at every content creator out there that has millions of followers who has a persona, and I'm speaking specifically about the guys who have personas. Asmongold, Nick the Merc or whatever his name is, Tim the Tatman, Asmongold, Dr. Disrespect, all these guys who have personas, Kai, like all these guys, once they get a persona and they have millions of followers, they just become, it's all about being as obnoxious, outrageous, sensational, and crazy as you can be to generate views and clicks and to get the reaction from your audience so you get into that thing. And once you become that reactionary content creator, you become a character. And once you become the character, that's it. You're done. Like you have become the thing that everyone loves to hate. And so if you feed that beast, that becomes your content. And unfortunately, that's what has happened to a lot of the big content creators. There are a few people, like I think Co Carnage has done a pretty good job of keeping it real, but he's also, he's not without controversy either. But Co Carnage has always just been a person as opposed to a character, which is one of the reasons I sort of look at him as like someone who, if I can aspire to be a bigger content creator and streamer, who would I aspire to be? And he's younger than I am as well. I don't know of too many content creators who are older than I am. I'm sure there are out there, but I don't, I mostly just stick to my own shit. I don't watch a lot of people's streams. I'm not familiar with a ton of people. I know some. I've always stayed away from the character side of things and just focused on, and I think Devon said this earlier to the guy who was trying to be reactionary about Asmongold. Like, we don't do politics and stuff here. We just focus on games. Like, I've tried very, very hard to just focus on, I'm just here to play games. Like, I will occasionally rant about subjects. And I will definitely play with trolls when they're here. We'll definitely give trolls their 10 minutes of fame because that gets turned into content that I can use on TikTok and stuff. But for the most part, I just want to stick to games. Now, what does that mean for me? That means that it's hard for me to grow. I don't grow very quickly. My growth is very slow, and it's because there's nothing sensational here. And, occasionally I'll do things that lose me followers, don't gain me followers. Like I did that video last month about wokeness in video games. Maybe that was a couple weeks back. The woke females in video games. We took a look at characters with shaved heads. Like I lost a whole bunch of followers over that video because that offended people because they were like, "No, you're wrong. Naughty Dog is woke." you know, how dare you say that Naughty Dog's not a woke company? How dare you defend Last of Us 2? And how dare you defend Dragon Age the Veilguard? How dare you defend BioWare? Like, how dare you defend The Witcher? Exactly. So that kind of stuff, because I focus on having fun in video games and I'm not willing to be a sensationalist, um, there are sacrifices you choose to make. Is there something new going around about Witcher 4, Thandar? Maybe when I get back from the supermarket later on today, I'll take a look at that. Maybe we'll put out a video. I haven't checked any of the news yesterday and today. All right.
My boy, what have you done? This is a disaster. Salve Domine.
So I think I'm free until 4 p.m. Uh, Thandar says there's a new piece of content out. People are ranting about how The Witcher 4 is going to have story content of females in a medieval setting. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll have to. I'll have to take a look at that. Maybe do a reaction video this afternoon when I get back from the store. First of all, it's not a medieval setting; it's a fantasy setting. So real world rules don't apply. Okay, if I leave here, it says I'm neglecting my schedule. Oh, that's stealing. I definitely don't want to steal the books. Just wanted to read them if I
The
could.
forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
The books stood in there aren't for your eyes to see.
Oh, alright, so there's books in the cabinet I'm not supposed to take a look at. Okay.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
So I guess we wait.
Gloria in excelsis Deo, et in terra pax
4 p.m. afternoon worship. What time is it? Oh, they're definitely afraid of women, Thandar. I mean, that's the it's the insult is the insulting word that people use is incel, right? Someone who is I forget the exact terminology. I believe it's I'm gonna go look it up right now. It means something along the lines of involuntarily celibate, I think is what incel means. If I had to look up the technical definition, um, and it really just relates to the world is a very difficult place that we live in right now. And for a lot of people, it's very expensive. They have jobs they hate. They are not in a position to live the life that they want. Um, and so as a result, they're angry. And, everybody's angry. But the thing is like we all have reasons to be angry. Like there are lots of reasons to be angry, and lots of people have different problems affecting them. And it's really easy to allow yourself to get into this wallowing in self pity, of being angry with everything. Oh, it's definitely a first world problem, Nugian, because here's the thing. I live in, so my homestead, uh, this is going to be a great discussion. We'll take a break for a minute and discuss this. Actually, we're going to
Peace
pause
be
for a
with you.
second. I don't want to get caught here. Um, uh, Casey says I was involuntarily celibate until college. Yeah, I was definitely in that same boat until my, late teens. Um, it is a first world problem because my homestead is in Mexico. I've also lived in Colombia. I've lived in Bulgaria. I've spent a lot of time in Greece and Italy and Spain and Ireland. I've spent a lot of time in many countries around the world. And the only place where the incel issue exists really is the United States. And to a lesser degree, Canada and the United Kingdom. Um, I'm not sure about Australia, but it seems to be a first world problem because here where my homestead is in Mexico, we don't have this issue. There's no incel issue in this country. There's also not an issue with um, uh, I got to think about how Bill Burr. If you're not familiar with the comedian Bill Burr, you should watch some of his stuff. It's brilliant. He talked about how he went to India uh, on a tour. He was in India doing some stuff, and he says there's no better like viewpoint. There's no better way to shine a spotlight on the problems that exist in the first world when you go to a country where you go there and people are completely dirt poor, and you realize that things like air conditioning that you take for granted are a luxury item. And he says you come back from a country like you go to India, and he says you spend a couple of weeks there, then you come back and you land in LAX, which is the airport in Los Angeles. He says you land in LAX and you're immediately bombarded by a bunch of 350-pound fat people who are screaming about how, you know, don't fat shame me. I'm beautiful even though I'm fat. I'm 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 perfect just the way I am. And meanwhile, in this other place, people are starving to death, bathing in dirty water. They don't have air conditioning. And then you come to LAX, and people are yelling about how don't fat shame me. I'm a vegan. Don't eat meat. Where's my almond milk? Where's my oat milk? Where's my blood over? How dare you discriminate against me because I don't eat meat or because I'm fat or whatever. Like, and it's not just the US. I'm just saying it is a first world problem because when you go to countries where people are trying to survive and trying to eat, trying to find food and just clothe themselves and get basic running water and drinking water and clean drinking water and you know they have to deal with parasites, and rabies is still a thing, and they still have polio, and they still have all of these issues. Um, when you see all of this stuff in other countries, and then you look at these first world countries where those things don't exist, the people who live in first world countries have nothing else to complain about other than video games because they're not trying to survive on a daily basis. So, you know, those issues don't exist here where my homestead is because people are still very much in a, the middle class is emerging in this country. And so, we don't have that issue. People are not focused on, fat, how dare you fat shame me? People are still trying to, you know, survive and get air conditioning and things of that nature. So it's like the problem with angry people like Asmongold, it is very much, and not just him, but those types of content creators and that type of a mentality, that's very much a first world thing. It doesn't exist in the rest of the world. It doesn't. So yeah, it got me off on a tangent. Having the discussion with monk chanting is surreal. It's a social media problem. Yeah, social content has definitely played into it. My brother and I had a really good discussion. My sister has kids as well, but um, my brother and my sister both obviously do not allow their kids on social media. Um, my my I have a niece who's 15, 16. She's going to be getting into it soon. I genuinely fear, so for kids who are going to be coming up in today's generation who are going to be, you know, who are going to start getting onto social media because I use it for my work, but it's like we talk about like a tool, like a hammer is a tool. And a hammer can be used for many useful things. You can build a house with a hammer. You can build a business with a hammer. You could build a cat shelter. You could build a chicken coop. You could do lots of cool things with a hammer, but a hammer can also be a weapon in the wrong hands. A hammer can do really bad things if it's used incorrectly. You could break your finger. You can hit your knee and accidentally break your knee. You can do a lot of bad things. And so social media is like a tool that can be very useful in the right hands, but also very deadly in the wrong hands. And the problem when you give certain people or children unfettered access to social media, it's bad. It's so bad. So yes, there's definitely a social media issue at play. Anyway, um, it's
excelsis Deo,
it's
et in terra pax hominibus
yeah, there's a lot of problems.
voluntatis.
Correct, Young. When you have cultural appreciation for different cultures, it generally leads to a better way of thinking and a better outlook on things. Anyway, get to the church for prayer and mass. I think we just go this way. I haven't seen. And yes, loneliness is another reason. We were talking about that earlier. Everyone's angry. These guys are very angry, and because they're angry, they're lonely. Um, and we talked about this a few weeks back when we were playing Veilguard because we had a lot of trolls in the chat from Veilguard. The anger thing leads to loneliness because they don't have any people to talk to, and I've spoken on the number one thing that keeps me sane is my wife. Because if I didn't have my wife, it would be really easy to fall into that trap that like Asmongold and those guys fall into because it's very easy to become the thing you hate because you don't have someone to support you. When you have someone there to support you, to help you when you're down, to be there to shine a light on you, to build you up, to be a partner for you in life, when you have a loved one with you, you're not angry. What is there to be angry about? You have someone nice, someone's there to share with, you have someone who is providing you with love and companionship. And yes, some of that comes into the intimacy, physical intimacy, spiritual intimacy. And by spiritual, I don't mean religious. I mean, when you have someone to share your life with, it adds joy to your existence. When you don't have that, it's very easy to continue to be angry and etc. And if you look at most of these angry streamers, they are not in a relationship. They don't have mothers. They don't have girlfriends. They very often, if they do have a father figure, the father figure is very distant.